RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
What's up? Hi, my beautiful people, my normal people, my Tarabuster community, the people that make me want to get out of bed in the morning and give me hope that maybe it's not all as bad as I think it is. I don't know. We'll have to discuss that further. It's pretty bad. My name is Tara Devlin. Thanks for hanging out. This is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, and humanity. And I think that those are the words to live by. Is it on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy? Okay, great. Let's do it. If not, let's not vote Republican, okay? We're in the last days of the American Republic. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm just trying to wake people up. And isn't that annoying, though? That's one thing I was thinking of, because that's what Republicans say all the time. Wake up, people. Like we're all asleep. Wake up and see the non-existent voter fraud. Wake up and smell the vaccine. You know, I was just reading something on a right-wing website that the vaccine is what's spreading the Omicron or Cron, whatever the hell, however you pronounce it. They're saying the vaccine is the one, is what's doing it. So, come on. How much longer? Right? How much longer are we going to take it? Before I keep going, let me do the plugs, because today is a very special show. We have Poppy Champlin is waiting in the green room of Tarabuster Studios to join us, and we're going to have a conversation. I don't know, about life. I'm a little bit, run down. Why do I keep saying I don't know? I don't know. I just don't know. So, all right. SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. Give the show a good review on iTunes. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin to keep the show going and growing. This is the real liberal media. That's all we have are each other. So, could be worse. Yes. Right. I see Sydney in the chat room. Wake up and praise the fascist revolution. The future belongs to me, right? Fatherland, fatherland, show me a sign your children have waited to see. The morning glow, something, blah, 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 blah. Tomorrow belongs to me. What am I singing? Yeah, huh? Well, there you go. And that's what we're up against. And just to put a finer point on it, and you're welcome. Well, you're welcome for singing. I know some people are enjoying the singing. And if you're on any other chat, if you're on Facebook or where else, any other chat, come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. And thank you, JD, for your super chat right out of the gate. Hello, darling Tara and people in the chat. Hello, JD. Oh, Jim, I saw you. I didn't see you, I should say. Jim, right out of the gate with another super chat. Thank you so much, Jim. I didn't mean to step on your toes with JD, even though JD understands. Jim was first. That's all I got to say, JD. Thank you. Both guys. Just thank you. Breathe. Sometimes I have to breathe. I guess you've probably noticed that. I get very worked up. So, yeah, it is very scary. Scary to hear it in English, Winston says. The Fatherland tune. No, well, is that a real tune, or is that just from Cabaret? Or is that, you know what I mean? Is that a real Nazi tune? It doesn't matter. Okay, well, we're going to talk about is what we talk about all the time, and saving this dying republic from the fascist coup that's happening right before our eyes. We're not kidding. It's happening. They're not kidding. When people show you who they are, believe them. Now, of course, one of the things that we talk about on the show is the corporate media, and how much the corporate media is part of the problem, and that they suck. And so the other day, for an example, the same old mouthpieces are on corporate media complaining that, well, they're rightfully pointing out that the Republicans are in the midst of an anti-democratic coup. And then somebody has to turn to Donnie Deutsch for an opinion, for whatever reason. I have no idea. And he's diagnosed the issue of as the American people don't care because they only care about their pocketbooks. And the reason the Democrats aren't getting this message out, that the Democrats are actually killing it as far as the economy, I guess. But the message is not getting out because the American people are wondering if the Democrats are too woke. Okay? Are you kidding me? This is where we are. So we're going to succumb to a fascist takeover because the elites are worried that this is really what it's about. They're worried that democracy is going to truly break out. They don't want to really fix it. They want to tamp down on the insanity. They liked the low-grade fascism. They liked to be able to buy politicians, corrupt government. I mean, this goes for both sides. I'm talking about the conservatives on both sides of the aisle. They want it like that, to buy politicians, corrupt government, because they're not that smart. They're not that, they're not innovators. They're not bringing anything to the table, but their inadequacy and their, I guess in their arrogance, the privilege that they are loath to lose, because otherwise we'll see how inadequate they are. They are inadequate. Look at Trump. I mean, case in point. Tell me, what a waste of air, much less a trust fund. Somebody who gets handed everything, blows it, sucks at everything he touches, and doesn't have the manners or maturity to say thanks, or I need help, or maybe I'm not the best or the greatest. There's constant bloviation and this puffy fucking bunch of, excuse my language, walking around like goddamn cock of the walk, when the arrogance is completely unearned. You know what I mean? All right. Now I'm just ranting. So Poppy's going to call in around 7:30 or 7:20, 25:30, something around that. And also the phones will be open. So if you would like to call in and give me your opinion, what do you think? What do you think? Are we doomed? Can't just be me talking here all the time about we're doomed. But I think we are. I don't know. Maybe that's why I really do need. See, Poppy's a decent, normal person. Obviously, she's a decent. I mean, she's a friend of mine. I don't hang out with people who aren't decent, and she is keeping it. She's got that ability to keep it light. Me, I guess I have a way of phrasing things that are in a comical way, but I'm not kidding. Like, I'm stressed. I'm very stressed out, and it's difficult to find the funny for me. That's why I always found Colbert and what's his name, Daily Show guy, Jon Stewart, to be such geniuses, and their writers, I should say, because they were able to find the funny in the fascism. And this is important. Yeah, I mean, we're finding the funny here too, because we're kicking their ass and we're not apologizing for it because they're wrong. Bottom line, they are wrong. I mean, if you want an autocracy, yeah, they're for you. But if you want a democratic republic, a multiracial democratic republic, then they are the antithesis of everything that you want. Here, I want to read something. For example, I saw this friggin' of course now I can't find it. God damn it. Oh, goody. Here comes the music. Be right back. All right, guys, this is Tara Devlin, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. And I just stumbled upon this letter to the editor from, I don't know, the Herald Dispatch, West Virginia newspaper. So somebody took the time to write a letter to the editor, and they published it. Here it is. Thank God for Joe Manchin. Very few in Congress have any common sense. The economy is good. Climate change is all over America, whatever that means, okay? If every country did as much as America, the problem would be smaller. All right. So that means we should do nothing. That's their logic. Stop the free money. Democrats and Republicans, well, he says Republicans, have ruined the younger generation with welfare. Oh my God, this same old shit. Stop thinking like politicians and punish the crooks and liars. Common sense. Justice for all in Congress. They have a free pass at everything and no consciousness? C-O-N-C... Wait. C-O-N-S-C-I-E-N-C. Consciences? What is this trying to say? Wake up with an explanation point. Lonnie Bledsoe from Huntington. Does any of those words strung together make a coherent sentence? Do any of those sentences have any relation to the facts or the truth, reality, anything? Stop the free money? Now, clearly, this is a guy who he thinks he's an independent. I vote for both Republicans and Democrats. I'm an idea guy or whatever. So he thinks. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking. Clearly, he's listening to Fox News. Obviously, it's on every goddamn street corner, being pumped into everybody's living rooms, like right out of 1984 or North Korea. Take your pick. What's the difference? It really is like North Korea. Everywhere you go, these ghouls have their propaganda outlets blaring into their empty minds, being filled up with nonsense like stop the free money. And Democrats and Republicans have ruined the younger generation with welfare? That's the problem. Welfare. Having a society. You know? That's the problem. This guy thinks he's a dumbass, first of all. Not that he thinks he's a dumbass. I'm just saying he's a dumbass. But he thinks he's got it all worked out. Because he's been told that, look at this. I never had to I never had to have a handout or ask for anybody to do something for me. Bullshit. I hate that. That whole line of arguing. And I have friends that say things like that to me, too. I have a friend who is a dear friend, but he listens to right-wing media, and it's concerning. I don't know why he does it. I try to talk him out of it. It's probably habit. The other thing, he's a very smart guy. I've discussed him without naming names on the show. He's a decent, awesome person, great guy, great person, whatever. But he's not. I'm not. Whatever. Take this for what it is. I'm probably going to insult. He's not. He doesn't have a higher education. I'm not saying that you necessarily need a degree. But there's something to be said about going to college and people saying, hey, read this book that maybe you would not have read in your lifetime unless it was assigned, right? And then we're going to discuss it. Same thing with, well, that's what college is, critical thinking, right? But here's the thing. He basically proves my point because he's received his political education by listening to media. And because of the easy access to right-wing media and the fact that it's everywhere, that's what happens. So the right-wingers, they understand, they know what they're doing. Wait, hold on. Someone's knocking on the door. Can you believe this shit? In the middle of a show. Hold on. I'm going to have to... There's nothing... Fuck. Hold on. No. Okay. Listen. Hi. I'm sorry. Not today. Because I'm in the middle of something. Thank you. All right, that was that. Live TV or live podcasts when you're in your apartment. It's The Exterminator. They come once a month. I don't know why they're coming at 7 p.m., but okay. All right. I know. Where did your dear friend attend free college? No. He went to what's that guy that he listens to? Michael Savage. That's what he listens to. Michael Savage University. That's where he goes. And it's really irritating to have to discuss when he says shit like this to me, and and I have to constantly correct it. No, it wasn't Poppy's in the chat room. Jehovah's Witnesses. I wish. No, it's, you know what it is? I'm a little irritated right now because why are they banging on the door? They're ringing the door. Ringing the bell, you heard. Why are they boom, boom? If I don't answer the door, that's my choice, right? Do you have to bang? Like, you're trying, what is this? Jericho blowing the horn or something? Batting down trying to knock the window. What am I saying? I don't know. Why are you banging on my door like that? It drives me insane. I also don't like when people ring my bell like for no reason, like with anger. I'm just being a Tara Devlin right now. Okay, listen up. Poppy, why don't you call in? We can start talking about things. Yes, I don't think, Andrea in the chat, I don't think that North Korea has school shootings. No, they don't. That's another thing that we're all screwed up. But that's one thing I wanted to talk about tonight. So what I have written down on my list, where is it? I wanted to talk about, of course, the Supreme Court dragging women back to times we left in history's trash pile, even though nobody is asking them to do it. Okay. Then, this could be kind of an aside. I wanted to talk about DeathSantis, Ron DeathSantis in Florida, letting his fascist flag fly right out of the closet. The freak flags are flying because they are so fascist they don't even realize that they're fascist. So DeathSantis wants to have, he says he needs his own army in Florida. Okay, which is another example that Republicans can't help it. In every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism. They can't help it. So they say these things, and everybody's like, are you nuts? And then they could proceed to whittle away at the pillars of democracy that way. Because that becomes, they start normalizing that behavior as if that's democracy, you know? All right. And then what else? Oh, I wanted to talk about the fact that the United States is churning out a generation of people with PTSD. What are we doing to youth of this country? I know what we're doing to I know how traumatic it is when you go into corporate America or now in New York. They probably do it in other cities and states as well. When you go into a corporate environment, they have to run live shooter drills. And I've had to be a part of different, in different companies, live shooter drills. It's really, really infuriating. And the first time it happened, because the fire department in New York City goes around and they do every, I don't know what it is, every couple of months they come in and they do a very brief demonstration of this is where you go if there's a fire. They designate somebody the fire marshal. You check the men's bathroom. You check the women's bathroom. You know what I'm saying? So they do it was usually just fire. Then all of a sudden they tacked on the live shooter shit as well. Run, hide, fight. Those are the three things. First, run. Try to evade. And if you can't run and hide, the last chance to save your life would be to fight this person. Sort of like what happened with the little Kyle Rittenhouse. That's what happened there. People thought he was a live shooter, and that they were trying to disarm him. That he was out of control. He had just murdered somebody. Oh, but that person needed to be murdered, according to the right-wingers. He threw a bag. I feel threatened. I felt threatened when they banged on my door like that. What a bunch of cowards, really. And what do they bring to the table? Can anybody remind me? When I read this letter to the editor, I thought many things crossed my mind. One was, we're doomed. Another was, is this person serious? Is this for real? And the other thing is, why would they publish it? Why would a newspaper publish such illogical musings that mean nothing? It's sort of like the word woke, right? It's like saying, are we too woke? Maybe that's why. Shall we have fascism, or are we... Maybe we need less woke, right? Who needs days off, sick leave, retirement security, living wages, when we could just tamp down on the wokeness a little, right? Stop the free money. Democrats and Republicans have ruined the younger generation with welfare. That whole canard it's right out of it's a racist effing goddamn bullshit. The idiot who wrote the op-ed probably doesn't even consider themselves a racist. Of course they don't. But they can't help it. It's like somebody on Twitter, the president tweeted about something, whatever. He had a press conference and he tweeted something about the travel restrictions now that were back in place, and that everybody had to be tested or whatever. Okay. And somebody tweeted, of course, some right-winger tweeted back to the president, I hope that includes the southern border. I hope, or something. I hope you'll restrict the southern border. Of course it's about brown people, that's all. And all I said, I responded that you don't even have to address what they're saying. It's just another example of a right-winger taking the opportunity to tell the world how racist they are, because that's what that is. They might as well just scream it. I'm racist. Whoopee. Well, it's the same thing. So I'm laughing because some right wing is going to clip that out. I'm racist. Whoopee. Right? Oh my God. What's going on? Oh, I didn't even know. Poppy. Hello, Poppy.
Yo.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I did not realize you were on hold. I kept looking and I didn't see you there. So it kept saying 0 calls. And now when I went in to the program that takes the calls, I saw that you were there, and it still says 0 calls. It's so weird. Anyway, that's why I didn't go to you right away. So thanks for.
No, I have no problem with you not going to me right away.
Oh, okay.
Painting my nutcrackers.
What? Oh, really? Oh, yes. So it's the holiday season is coming, and Poppy is creating these seasonal items. If you want a nutcracker, they're amazing. I mean, I don't even know. I suck at marketing, as you know.
Oh, did you see them?
Yes, but you sent a picture the last time, but I wonder if I probably don't have it handy. Send another one. Or, excuse me, that was disgusting. I didn't mean to do that in your ears. God, I don't have one of those buttons. I apologize. And usually I try to take my mouth away from the mic.
I'll send this one I just sent in the mail. Yeah, I ship them and everything.
Yeah, no, they're really awesome, and yeah, I mean they're right out of the Sears catalog. You know, they're really
right out of FAO Schwartz.
They are right. That's better. That's really it's true. Wait, okay. Now I gotta send this to my computer. All right, we airdropped that. So many buttons.
Airdrop that shit.
And here we go. Come on, come on. Oh, there it is. Look. Isn't that wonderful? Look at that, everybody. That is one of the things. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yep.
Good.
So now this lady, she wanted me to make a gay one and a female, because I've only been making males.
That's a good idea.
And, yeah, so I gave it a shot, and she came out real good.
You have a picture of it?
Let's see. Yeah,
my neck is all spotty. I have to do this. It's probably I have something called dermographia. Everybody who watches the shows. No, I know, right? It just means that my skin gets very red sometimes, like in patches. It's really annoying. It has to do with usually happens when I'm like stressed out.
Yep.
Like something's happening. Yep. So, oh wow, that's great. Wait, hold on. I have to send this to the computer. So I had to be honest about it and tell people because you can see it. So when oh,
you can?
Well, yeah, you can see it on the camera right now. It's like.
I can? Let me see. Go up close. Where is it?
It's on my neck. It goes away. You see that?
Oh, our phone call and the graphic is not in the same time.
Well, it's a little. There should be there's a delay. That's right.
Yeah, there's a delay.
It's a little bit behind.
Oh, is it hiding under your hair? I don't see it.
Because
Oh, is it like just red or something?
No. It's just red. It's red.
Oh, I see it now.
Red patches.
Just a little bit.
It's like it reminds me. One time, a friend of mine. Oh wait, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
A friend of mine I was working, and so my friend, there was this other woman who was working with us, and she came over, and my friend had a big pimple on her face.
No.
Or maybe it was a cold sore. I can't quite remember. And she was like, this woman was like, "What's that?" You know what I mean? Who the fuck does that? We still talk about it to this day because it was like such a dick move. Like, well, who does that? Who says that? And she goes, "It's a cold sore." Like, fuck off. What's that? What is that? It's insulting my sensibilities. Anyway, so this is gorgeous. This is a gay one with the rainbow
that's a gay
flag.
one.
You
Yeah,
should do all
that's a gay one.
kinds. That is a perfect idea, right there, like the perfect phone call that Trump had. This is a perfect idea. How can you go wrong?
Right.
And
Right.
oh, because
so now I'm
yes,
making a bunch of those. Everyone
right,
wants that one.
right, gay ones, trans. Why don't you do some trans ones? You know, trans
Yeah,
colors.
I did. I accidentally just did one. I just made a female, but she's got a mustache. So I put
Well.
a mustache on her by accident.
Well, that's not
But
necessarily
if
trans.
if you've been to Mishfest, you've seen that before.
What's that? Oh yeah, I haven't been there. I know. Wait, hold on. Here comes the music.
You never.
I know. What is wrong with me? I haven't lived as a lesbian. We'll be right back with Poppy Champlin. Listen, listen, listen. I forgot to put up Poppy's lower third. What the hell?
You
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
you won't get to live as a lesbian now because Mishfest is no more.
Really? What happened?
Yeah. Well,
The pandemic?
I think no. Some trans people wanted in, and
shit.
the owner of the festival was like, "No, it's just for women."
What?
It's just it's women. Michigan Women's Fest was supposed to be just for women,
Oh.
and so like,
Well, you're talking
trans-
cis women. That you know what I mean? There's because trans women are women. So I mean, this is right.
I don't know how it went, but they got
That's-
pissed and
Yeah, that's fucked
dropped
up.
leaflets from a plane, and I
What
don't know what
happened?
happened and the whole thing.
All right.
They
well,
dropped leaflets from a plane and boycotted it. And
They dropped you?
No, they dropped leaflets.
Oh, leaflets. I thought you said, I was like, what the hell is she saying? They dropped me from a plane? That's what I thought you said. And I was like, what is this?
No, they dropped like leaflets to boycott it and to protest it, and
Wow.
hung out at the front gates and protested. And
Well, what's
I
the
don't know,
big deal?
got
Why
into
don't
a big hassle.
like? Why don't? I mean, that's fucked up. Not for the trans
Yeah.
people. I think it's just let people fucking in. What's the difference? God damn it. Ugh.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for the gay community to be at odds about this, and that's pretty disappointing, really. But anyway.
I know, but
Anyway.
what do you think about? I don't believe that trans men to women should be able to compete in the Olympics. Do you?
This I guess this is a controversial topic. It's different. They're not men. They're not men. And in fact, they've done studies that it's really not a difference because the women who are trans are not, they're taking hormone therapy and things like that. So they're not, there's research on this that says it's not a thing. It's only a thing because
So they're not.
it doesn't give anybody a unfair advantage or not or whatnot. And yeah, it's just they do it because they can, and there's a lot of ignorance about it and misunderstanding, and yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert at it, but I think there's research on it. It's not like, I mean, it would be different if what you're saying is the men who transition, or you know what I mean, or female, male. I don't know how to say it. I'm trying not to step into any minefields. So, if that gave them an advantage, they would definitely have a point, but it doesn't, and it's
How is
not
that
a different
possible, though? I don't
because
see
they're
how
not.
that-
It's what makes men. The only thing that the difference between men and women, Poppy,
I know, right?
is wait, hold on. I see is that what's wait. What was the question? What did you just say?
like how is it possible that they don't have an unfair advantage
because
against
they're
women
not.
trans
It's
in Olympics?
because the only difference between the men and women physiologically is that men have more upper body strength. Okay, and they have testosterone, which this is, I guess, when women start to transition from male to female, or whatever, born man to female, it doesn't. You're taking hormones. You're not a man. So. If I'm not an example, I mean, I'm not an expert, and but I know a little bit. Whatever I've known. Let me see. Hold on. Trans athletes. Okay. Let's see.
I mean, men are
Advantage.
just naturally bigger.
But that's. I mean, once you're transitioning. Let's see. Do trans athletes have an advantage? Several trans women are set to compete in the Tokyo Olympics, marking the first time openly trans athletes participated in the Olympics. New Zealand's Laurel Hubbard will make her Olympics debut. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. What does the science tell us about trans athletes? Few studies have been done on trans athletes, and to date, there are no published studies. Oh, I thought, wait, okay. Participating at the elite level. But papers have been published in the lead up to the Olympic Games. One study published in 2020 looked at military personnel who transitioned while in service and found that trans women maintained an edge after 1 year, which included suppressing testosterone levels and boosting estrogen. The research was carried out by Timothy Robbins, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Alrighty. So, let me show you what I'm looking at.
So
This
it's
is
not like
a...
they're going to lose their muscles.
No, but they're saying after a year. So, it goes away.
Their muscle mass goes away?
Yeah. I mean,
Hey everyone, this is Lauren with a quick update on a phone call.
I hit that by accident. This is Lauren with a quick update of why I'm such a horrible person. Wait, hold on. Where is it? Okay. God damn my life. Why can't I find this? I'm trying to show you this page I'm looking at. Here we go.
I mean,
Okay.
no, because no. They have a higher gravitational place. Like women's carries their gravity lower. Their gravitational center is higher, so that's how they can jump higher and faster.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of difference,
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's not, I don't think it does. They wouldn't allow people to compete in the Olympics if it was giving them an advantage. If that's the case. I mean, I wasn't prepared to discuss this because I wasn't on the list, but I know.
I'm sorry. Let's go back to whatever it was.
Yeah, and I honestly, I just don't want to leave it there because I think it's kind of hurtful to people. I don't want to be somebody putting that out there,
Yeah.
Let's see. The top 10% of female runners. I mean, to be an elite runner, you have to be 59% faster than the average cisgendered woman. And let's see. Anyway, whatever. I don't think that it's whatever.
It's not your opinion, it's mine.
Yeah, it's not even an opinion. If 4 myths, let's see, about the trans athletes. Here we go. Here's why. Here's another thing. from the ACLU. Many who oppose the inclusion of trans athletes erroneously claim that allowing trans athletes to compete will harm cisgendered women. This divide and conquer tactic gets it exactly wrong. Excluding women who are trans hurts all women. It invites gender policing that could subject any women to invasive tests or accusations being too masculine or too good at their sport to be a real woman, so-called. In Idaho, the ACLU represents 2 young women. One is trans and one is cis, both of whom are hurt by the law that was passed. Okay, further, this myth reinforces stereotypes that women are weak and in need of protection. Politicians have used their protection trope, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm just reading what they said here. Okay? In 2016, they tried banning trans people from public restrooms by creating a debunked so-called bathroom predator myth. The real motive is never about protection. It's about exclusion. On the other hand, including trans athletes will promote values of non-discrimination amongst all athletes. A longtime coach and sports policy expert, Helen Carroll, explains that efforts to exclude subsets of people from sports can undermine team unity. Okay. Trans athletes do not have an unfair advantage in sports. Women and girls who are trans face discrimination that makes it difficult to even stay in school. According to the U.S. Trans Survey, 22% of trans women who were perceived as trans in school were harassed so badly they had to leave school because of it. Another 10% were kicked out of school. The idea that women and girls have an advantage because they are trans ignores the actual conditions of the lives. Okay, hold on. We'll be right back with some controversy. Alrighty, here we go. To continue with the ACLU discussing trans athletes do not have an unfair advantage in sports. Trans athletes vary in athletic ability, just like cisgendered athletes. One high jumper could be taller and have longer legs than another. The other could have a perfect form and do better, explains Andrea Yearwood, a student track athlete. One sprinter could have parents who spend much money on training, and in turn, others, blah, blah, blah. Okay. A person's genetic makeup and external reproductive anatomy are not useful indicators of athletic performance for a trans woman athlete who meets the NCAA standards. There's no inherent reason why her physiological characteristics related to athletic performance should be treated differently. Okay. Anyway, that's what it's saying. What is the meaning of life and humanity? This is the other thing. What is the meaning of the? It's not. If it doesn't. What's the point of athletics? Is it to make some people the in crowd, some people the out crowd? I don't know. I see the point here of the how it creates divides people. Anyway, whatever. So yeah. I could see what you're saying, but I also think that it's like that is the myth that trans people are just actually men in drag or something, and it's not the same thing. Anyway, and I should probably have Robyn Kincaid on here to discuss it, to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, because obviously I'm ignorant and need more education about it myself, because I feel like I'm still somewhat prejudiced because of the view I just told you.
You're okay. It's brave and it's necessary to talk about it. You know what I mean? To go and discuss it. This is how we learn and change and grow. Yeah. I mean, I don't as far as I really don't like that whole women. I've heard the whole thing with lesbians against trans women, and it's really, to me, I find it really ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's dumb. There's no reason for us to it's hard enough. Life is hard enough, and we're on the same team here. So
life is hard enough, and they want to get on the side that is already discriminated against, and
right.
you lose half your pay and all that.
That's it. That's it. Why would somebody give up their privilege just for their male privilege to become a woman? Okay, or vice versa, I guess. Well, that's the whole thing. That's why the anti-gay laws throughout history in general were always rooted in misogyny, because women, lesbians, were not legislated against usually, because the general notion was that women weren't sexual anyway. So if they didn't have a man involved, then of course there's no sex then. And that's why they didn't write laws against lesbians, but they wrote laws against gay men because that's misogyny. You're giving away your privilege. You are becoming like a woman. That's what it is. That's what.
So the men didn't like that.
Of course not. I mean, whether they say it or not, whether it's conscious or not, no, it's yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like how dare you? How dare you give away something that we fought to?
That's it.
To have it's like the men's club. You're handing in your membership card.
That's it, and it's also like, for example, in prison, they've done studies on the relationships that develop in prison. They have somebody will be the wife, somebody will be, and that's somebody who is, receives and not, is like a bottom. That is considered the feminine role, and it's. Right. You're not even, if you're a so-called straight man and you're having sex with a man, that doesn't even count to them, because if you're, and so this is like a thing that goes back. I think it's psychology. It goes back thousands of years. So when you go back into ancient Rome, it's the same thing. They were incredibly homophobic society. I know that a lot of people think that it was so liberated sexually. I mean, they had different Caligula. Yes. Well, they did. It's not like they didn't have sex. Of course they did, but they weren't. There actually weren't Roman orgies. That is not a thing. They were very. It was an incredibly conservative society and incredibly patriarchal and misogynist. So, and they considered. If somebody, if you were gay, you could have a same-sex relationship, but you could not be the passive role. That would be an insult. So you would have to take on the male role, of the one who. Well,
how did two males have a relationship?
One is the bottom. That's it. One is right. That's it. So why are we talking about this shit? Yeah, no, this is interesting to me. I like this stuff. I like history, as we know. And actually, the other day, before the show ran out of time, I was talking about there was this an old battle, that before recorded history, archaeologists found evidence of a giant battle that took place. You're talking about like thousands of years before the Roman Empire. Before. Oh wow. And I guess I saved it because last time we brought it up, I brought it up on the show and I couldn't find the article. And let's talk about it. Why not? Let's do something different tonight. A little bit.
What was it, Vikings? The battle?
No, it's a very interesting story, if you ask me. Hold on. Where is it? What the hell am I looking at? Oh, thank you. First of all, thank you, Matt, for your super chat. And it rhymes.
Super chat.
Thank you, Matt, for your super chat. Thank you, Matt, for your super chat.
What's a super chat?
What's a super chat? It's like a tip. So they can send you a little tip, you know?
That's nice.
To keep the liberal media going and growing. All right, here. This is a picture.
How big is Matt's tip? That's dirty.
It's it's not the size of the tip. It's the
Size queen.
It's the thought. It's what you do with it. Okay. Battle at the bridge. Isn't that or slaughter at the bridge? I'll read it a little bit. About 3,200 years ago, two armies clashed at a river crossing near the Baltic Sea. Look at that. Look at all these. Are you looking at that picture? It could have been, yeah.
Maybe it was.
But there was no... Yeah. Look, the written word would not become common in these parts for another 2,000 years, but it was no skirmish between local clans. Thousands of warriors came together in a brutal struggle, perhaps fought on a single day using weapons crafted from wood, flint, and bronze, a metal that was then the height of military technology. Struggling to find solid footing on the banks of the Talonnaise River, a narrow river of water that flows through the marshes of northern Germany toward the Baltic Sea. The armies fought hand to hand, maiming and killing with war clubs, spears, swords, and knives. Bronze and flint-tipped arrows were loosed at close range, piercing skulls and lodging deep into bones. Horses belonging to high-ranking warriors crumpled into the muck, fatally speared. Not everyone stood their ground in the melee. Some warriors broke and ran. Others were struck down from behind. The other interesting thing about this was that there were women, of course, involved too. So I mean, our notion of battle or society in general before recorded history, we don't really know. We can only put our own prejudices, our modern view on what we think it might have been like. But I always wonder too about, I mean, this world is so screwed up, and what would have happened if, let's say, Rome didn't turn Christian, you know? We'd be living in a much different world, because at the time when, like you're talking about the Vikings, when Vikings and the tension between the pagan world and the Christian world was that were at odds. When the Vikings were pillaging Europe, it was unsure which side was going to win. Unfortunately, the Christians won. We'll be right back. Yeah, it's true, because the Vikings themselves, they had a rather progressive legal system, considering, especially in comparison to the Christian world, where women were considered property. Property. Yeah, the Vikings, and conversely, women had status. They could be leaders. They could warriors. They could be warriors, and were warriors, and high status warriors too. And we talked about it on the show. Maybe did I show you that about they found some bones of a warrior, and they thought it was, for years they thought it was a man, but it ended up, they finally tested the bones, and it was a woman, buried with all the accoutrements of any warrior, especially a high-ranking warrior. They were buried with a horse, buried with strategy games, common things that warriors would be, but high-ranking, not just some schmo. And also the large ship burial that I can't remember what the exact name of the ship burial is called. There's a name of it. I can't remember it. But
like when they get a burial in the ship and then they burn it.
Yeah, well, there's a famous ship, like the Oslo ship or something like that. I can't remember which one but there's a giant ship that they bury it, and I guess some of them they burn, but there were others that are buried, and this one that they excavated that was massive there was a woman who was buried in that giant ship. So that was definitely a high-ranking leader that made a mark, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, why am I bringing this up?
It was a woman.
Yeah, and it was a woman. So how can they tell? They studied the bones or something. I don't know. That's how. I mean, you could tell by the bones themselves that the hip bone, like is a little bit wider, right?
A little bit longer or shorter. Or
Yeah, they know. They could tell.
Which would give her a disadvantage in Olympics.
It might give her an advantage in an Olympic sport. But then, well, that's the thing. So, like you're saying that, in a way that men automatically have an advantage. And when I'm thinking about, for example, being in basic training, I was in the military and went through basic training.
Yep.
And other kinds of training too. So, but basic training is a trip. So. But in the Army, you train with men and women. But men and women train simultaneously, and you train side by side. The only thing you don't do is sleep in the same barracks, and at least officially, right? I'm sure it happens, but we did everything together. We ran. We marched 50 miles with a 30-pound ruck on my back. Oh no, 30 miles with a 50-pound ruck, and. I'm running, all doing very physical activities, and I'm telling you that it wasn't always the men that came in first. So there you go. Everybody has different strengths and weaknesses, and I remember when in order to get out of they have something called the when you first go to. Well, I went to Fort Jackson, right? So when you first show up there, you go into the processing. And that's like a nightmare. It's sort of like a cross between Schindler's List and Full Metal Jacket. Yeah, at that time. God. It's like a nightmare. All you do is stand in line all day. It's horrible. At 4 a.m., they wake you up. The first night I was there, I didn't even sleep. I showed up at 2 a.m. I finally got there. And they sent me there. I mean, they put me on a plane. But I only went from New York to South Carolina. It took hours because they put me on different I had to go get a connected flight because I guess it was cheaper. You know what I mean? It was just it was ridiculous. But it was dumb. So I didn't get to South Carolina until like 2 a.m. And then I had no sleep. And at 4 a.m. they come in and they're like, you don't know nobody tells you what to do. No, and then you have to run out and the people who are when you walked into the room were sleeping are now screaming and running around frantic, and they're like, here, take this, and like trying to tell you what to do, so you don't get them smoked basically by fucking up. So, and then you go out in formation, and you stand there at 4 a.m. It is like a nightmare. And then you go from standing there in front of the barracks to standing on line for chow. And then you go from standing on line there to standing on line for whatever it might be. Your shots or your... Yeah. And it's like a nightmare. So, to make a long story short... What? And then, in order to get out of this processing and to start basic training, you have to get through this process, right? And it sucks. The final leg of the process is you have to pass a PT test. You have to run a mile or so in a certain amount of time. And I was so afraid that I was not going to go into just start basic training. I was going to have to stay in this horrible Schindler's List that I ran. I probably never ran as fast as I never ran so fast in my life. I came in third out of all the whole platoon. And I was like, yes, I'm not a runner. And I was older.
So you beat like a ton of guys?
I beat everybody. Guys, girls, everybody. So there you go. That's what I'm saying. And I wasn't running. I was running for my life at the time. I was just like... like there was a monster, like Michael Myers was chasing me, or Stephen Miller. You know?
Oh, it sounds like they treated you horrifically.
Oh, it was horrible. It was a horrible... oh, you know what else sucked about it? Well, I remember this. This bothers me. Sometimes I think about it, and I think how fucking stupid people are. So, as we're getting ready to go to the other side, to go to basic training, we're in Fort Jackson, then you might run into another platoon that's a little bit along in training. And they say, oh, you're getting ready to go over? Oh, great. Make sure you put everything in your rucksack. Just pile it all. Make sure you put all your stuff in there. And to make a long story short, that's a trick, okay? Because what they do is make the one of the ways that they kick your ass on the first day is you take your duffel bag and you have to hold it over your head. So your friends from the other platoon told you to put everything in the duffel bag, so to fuck you up. I don't understand why people do things like that. I didn't do it. I didn't believe them.
Yeah.
I knew something was amiss.
That's not funny.
No, it's not.
It's not funny.
It's not nice
It's not funny.
either.
It's not nice.
It's just not nice.
It's cool.
What about teamwork, right? Where's the teamwork?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That drives me crazy about this country. Where's the teamwork? There's no teamwork.
Yeah.
You know, with all this talk about it, all this talk about e pluribus unum and shit, but no, we can't even have somebody tell you, listen, don't put all your shit in that duffel bag.
Exactly.
What's so hard about that?
Crazy.
Right? Jesus.
That's crazy.
I know. People are effed up. Like, what about, for example, what about the mother and father who bought their little prick a gun?
I was just going to switch to that.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that? So,
Well,
for those who don't know...
How do we...
Go ahead,
we
sorry.
we're never going to get the real story.
What do you mean? What do you mean? The real story from the mother and father? You're talking about the kid. All right, let's get people on board. In case they don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about the latest school shooting here in the United States of Serfs and Lords, the armed madhouse. The latest shoot where some little prick, the little prick's parents bought the little prick a gun, an assault weapon, and then taught him that the main thing about this gun is to not let anybody know what you're really up to. Right? That's what the mother said.
Is that what they said?
Well, no, the mother... So, okay. So, let me see. What's the guy's name? Hold on. Let me...
Crumbly.
Yes.
Crumbly.
All right. Crumbly. So, the Crumblies bought their little prick a gun, because that's what you do when you're... I think his name is Ethan. Okay, here. This is from CNN. The parents of the teen accused in this week's deadly Michigan high school shooting pleaded not guilty, even though they're guilty. I say they're guilty. Ready, aim, fire. Okay, just kidding. Give a taste of their own medicine. I don't know. No, just kidding. Legally and peacefully. Just kidding. Okay. Pleaded not guilty to involuntary manslaughter charges hours after police said they arrested them in Detroit, in a Detroit warehouse following an hours-long search.
How far away were they from home?
Oh, I don't know. They were far away. They weren't... I don't know. What am I... Wait. Michigan. How far is... Well, I don't know. I don't know where they started
25.
out from. Well, they weren't where they were supposed to be. Okay? They were fleeing the scene. They were fleeing the interview.
Yeah.
That's from Fargo. Okay.
Malfeasance.
Yeah. Yeah. Something not good was happening. A judge in Michigan's Oakland County set bond for $500,000 each for James and Jennifer Crumbly, the parents of Ethan Crumbly, a little prick who should never have been legally and peacefully born. Okay, I'm sorry. The teen jailed on suspicion of killing for suspicion. Okay, the detained couple sitting alone. I know. He did it. He's whatever. What do they say? Suspicion when there is no doubt that he did it. This is what they said in the article.
Right.
Why do you have to say suspicion? He said it. He did it. He admitted it. He's not denying
Why
it.
isn't he dead? Why isn't he dead?
Boy, you're a real hard bitch tonight.
Well, I mean, usually they kill themselves.
Why didn't he just kill himself? Right?
Well, usually they do that after they kill people.
I know, he
right?
could have
Usually you
at
just
least
turn the gun
done
on
that.
yourself.
Uh-huh. He should have. He should have
Yeah.
done it before. That's what I think. Why did you have to wait till after? Do it before.
Yeah. Right.
It's such a horrible... that's another thing I wanted to talk about tonight, too, because, well, let's just fill everybody in. But the PTSD of what we're doing to the youth of this country, to everybody in the country. It's like the whole country has PTSD. And what do you think? What are we doing? We're sending out people with PTSD, young kids now. We're traumatizing them rather than deny the amosexual freaks their small penis extenders. I don't know, the ability to walk around Walmart with an M16. What? This is madness.
Crazy.
It's absolute madness. Okay, let me continue with the article. The detained couple sitting alone in separate rooms made their arrangement appear by video, blah, blah, blah. Both spoke a little beyond saying they understood the charge, and they pleaded not guilty. During the arraignment, their attorneys stressed the clients had fully intended to return to turn themselves in before authorities arrested them. Oh, well, why didn't they do it? Why'd they have to go to Detroit? What's in Detroit besides the lamb? Jennifer and James Crumbly had been charged on Friday with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Well, and they're absolutely justified charges. Okay, but they missed the arraignment on Friday. Okay, so early Saturday, police said they found the couple on the first floor of an industrial or commercial building in Detroit, some 40 miles out. So there we go. 40 miles south of the Oxford area where they live. After someone tipped off the police. Yes, someone tipped the police off that they were nearby. They appeared to be hiding in the building. Police Chief James White said during a news conference they were very distressed after they were detained. White said, excuse me, he didn't...
40 miles away.
What? 40 miles.
40 miles away is, that's pretty far.
Yeah, it's a couple hours away. I mean, you're not going... I mean, you're on the lam here. They were probably trying to figure out what to do with themselves.
Right, they took money out, $4,000.
Exactly. Dumbasses. Guilty as sin. Who's guilty? If you're innocent, you don't run, and you don't take out $4,000 and run.
And what was the note in the text from the mother and the kid about don't do it?
Yes.
Don't do it.
Well, this is so what happened was the teacher, one of the teachers saw him online looking at ammo. Okay? So she reported him, and they had a meeting with the parents that same day, the day that this happened. And they told the parents, that they need them to take their child and get the child psychological help. Because it was also some drawings or writings where he was like, I see blood everywhere, blood. He's clearly damaged. And that's what you do when you have a kid that's like, I see blood. Give him a gun for Christmas.
Why did they say they gave him a gun?
Because this is a broken ass country. That's why we're broken, and broken ass dumb people.
And it was a hand weapon, right? It wasn't even a rifle. It was a handgun, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't even go. You don't even go hunting with a handgun. You don't go hunting.
Who
All you
gives
do
a-
with a handgun is shoot.
Who gives a kid a gun? Okay.
Right.
So, especially somebody
people
that.
always give
Well,
a
that's
kid
true.
guns.
Yes. Well, that's very true.
You know, the United States has a history of giving their kids BB guns at least when
That's
they're
true.
like 12 or something.
Yeah, we got to get them ready for war. I always remember when I was a kid, because I was a tomboy, and I was wearing some guns, like some six shooters, as you do.
Yeah.
I think they were like Lone Ranger branded or something.
Wow.
And
Cool.
I tried to go into someone's backyard on invitation, well, with some other kids, and the parent was like, "I'm sorry, we don't allow guns in here," and I was like,
Really?
"Yeah," but I was little, I didn't know, and that was the first time I was confused about, why?
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I was like, why? Yeah, because I was a child. I didn't have the big picture. And my parents
was a cap
clearly,
gun, right?
yeah, it was just right. You're right. It was like one of those cap guns. Yes, that's what it was.
Cap gun. Yep.
I wish I still had it. It's probably worth some
Wow.
money.
Well, that neighbor was a little fucked up then, I'd say. We don't allow cap guns in here? Damn.
Well, I think she
they
didn't
are
want to. They were probably kind of like hippie kids that had grown up, had kids, and they didn't want their son to play with guns. I get it. I get it now. I could see that. Why?
Now. Yeah.
Why? Because you're training them to be good little soldiers. Well, and which brings us to what we're talking about too. So, and another thing of it, when with the Supreme Court overturning, they are about to overturn Roe v. Wade, even though no one.
You think they really are?
They are. Yeah, absolutely. It's happened.
my God.
Because why wouldn't? It's like that's what you're saying. It sounds like the failure of imagination again. You know what I mean? No, I'm not trying to insult you. It's not.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? Because we just can't make that leap. Like they're destroying democracy. Okay, will Joe Biden get them to vote for his Build Back Better? I mean, these two things don't coexist. And the same thing with this. Yes, they are overturning democracy, and they will overturn Roe v. Wade. This is their project for generations. Hold on. We'll be right back. Be right back. And the thing with the Republicans, like nobody wants them to. Nobody asks them. Well, let me reel that in. Of course, we have the right-wingers have been, it's a baby or whatever, even though the fact is Republicans.
Okay, there's the question. I mean, I think the question is, when is a baby a baby?
Well, that's why.
When is it a viable
right.
fetus? When is a fetus a human being?
When it's usually been when it's viable. That's been the cutoff in the United States.
Yeah, and what does that mean?
It's not 15 weeks. I don't know what the cutoff is. It's more than that. It's double that as far as I remember. I don't know. I'm not having an abortion or a baby anytime soon. It doesn't matter.
Come on,
but
you can have an abortion and a baby. Come
I
on.
could just have an abortion for the hell of it, but
I can make
have a
baby
DNC.
on my 3D printer.
Yes, I can make a baby. You can make a little nutcracker.
No, but I mean that's the question: is when is the baby a baby? You know what I mean?
Well,
like
that's
a fetus and an egg, and they meet. And some people think it's right. I asked my friend Norma the other day. I said, "When do you think it is?" She goes, "At conception." I'm like, "What?
Who the fuck is that? I mean, that was never even a thing. That's somebody who decided Oh, I'm going to go with this one. Life begins at conception. Go get the F out of here. If that's the case, first of all, great. But wonderful. Don't tell people what to do. You know, this is the Republicans. They don't want to take a shot because don't tell me what to do. But now they want women to carry pregnancy, and not even women, girls, young girls, maybe raped, maybe victims of incest. And these Amy Coney bitch-face Barrett wants them to carry it to term because she says, what did she say? Oh yeah, they could just drop it off at the foundling home. Is that it? That's the way it is. Yeah, why not?
Drop it at the Walmart,
just leave it in the basket.
Or at the puppy mill.
Mm-hmm.
Send it to the puppy mill.
Leave it outside. Maybe every fire department can have a little bassinet outside. They could just drop it off. It's sort of like, that's the Republican way, because everything they touch, they destroy, and they're not governing in any way. They're just inflicting their manias on us, on society. We don't want what they're selling. That's why this is a democratic republic. We're supposed to be able to get together and say, hey, this is the kind of society we want. And if you don't want an abortion, don't get one. If that's your religious belief, fine. Great. But it's not mine, and it's not your business then. Oh, well, I don't want my money to be spent on... Well, I don't want my money to go to pick anything. I don't want him to go to the Pentagon. I mean, after a certain point, thinking maybe spending more money than every other country's combined on military is, I think that might be enough, you know? God. But...
yeah, I think what Hoosie Dinkle has in mind is he wants to just leave it at the 15 weeks.
Well, that's what they're trying. Yes. Well, that's the thing. That's what asshole Roberts is trying to do, and they're trying to, they're cute. They're cute.
Overturn it, right?
No, but it's effectively if you have a constitutional right to privacy and then the government sets up obstacles, or let's say a constitutional right to anything, or let's say you have a constitutional right to walk around Walmart with an M16, and then the government sets up all kinds of barriers to purchasing that gun, maybe purchasing ammo, or pick something that making it, or maybe the insurance is so out of the way or cost so expensive, it's cost prohibitive. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that happens, in a fascist country. They write laws so ubiquitous and then selectively enforce them. And this is another example of what they're doing. They are, nobody wanted them, well, let's say, some people wanted them to, well, here's the thing, I hate Republicans, all right? Because no one is forcing them to have an abortion. Don't have an abortion. But shut your filthy fascist prick mouth for somebody else.
You say you hate Republicans, but there's a lot of Democrats that go along with this one, too.
That's great. But here's the thing. If you're not you don't want to have an abortion, in fact, I thought of it myself. I wondered if I ever got pregnant, would I have an abortion? I probably wouldn't. I've asked myself that question. I probably would not be able to do it myself. I mean, considering, but who knows? Given all the perfect circumstances, but that's the choice. That's people's choice. And the other thing, but this is what I want you and everybody else to get in their minds and go out into the society to spread this good news. Abortion rates go down under Democratic policies. They don't go down by making abortion illegal. That's it. making abortion illegal does not reduce the need for abortion. There are studies done on this. These are just the facts. What actually reduces the numbers of abortion, the level of abortion, is health, universal health care, universal higher education, sex ed, family planning, all of these democratic policies that the Republicans oppose. Everything. And they've done studies on on abortion, why people have abortions. And I remember we discussed it on the show. We read one of the articles where that's what they're saying. It's the economy, that people will choose to have an abortion. If you find yourself pregnant accidentally or whatever, and you're already working your 3 uniquely American low-paying jobs with no benefits and no retirement security, and so you're going to bring another mouth to feed. I mean, that's the way it is, because the Republicans they're not giving you any lifelines, and they'll say, well, that's not the government's role. Get off welfare. No, the government's role is to set up the infrastructure of society, of freedom, right? The infrastructure of freedom. We're free because I don't have to go out and pave a road. It was already paved for me. I can drive down it, you know? It's lights on. If I go out now, there are street lights. There's rules to the road. This is how it functions. That's how society functions. And that's freedom, That's freedom. Some places don't have that. They don't. They have to go dig a well. They want to drink, go dig a well. You want to eat, go hunt or grow your food, But this is Republicans. They want all the benefits of civilization, but they don't want any of the responsibilities that we have to each other. And that's freedom. That's freedom. That's what freedom is. That's why we pay our taxes. And they're like, get off welfare. But we pay our taxes to set up the infrastructure of freedom. And really, I wish the Democrats, one of the thing that we keep hearing on corporate media in general, they're saying how the Democrats they suck at messaging. They're not able to get the word out about their successes. It's true. But that's why I'm hoping that's what we're doing here. So spread the news.
I think you just put it very succinctly. I think what you just said, that was a really good way of putting it, they're responsible for setting up these freedoms and maintaining them.
That's right. And that's it. That's what that's why, we should be proud of the country. Or not automatically be proud that if it was functioning the way it should function, that should be something that would give us pride. Look at all of our citizens. They're educated, they're fed, they're housed. We get to have society. We don't have to just work and die. We can get educated. We can sing songs, write music, That's what makes life worth living. Hold on. We're wrapping up the Progressive Voices part of the show. Come on, guys, and join us on youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. And thank you, Poppy Champlin, for hanging out. And we're sticking around, so keep coming back. My name is Tara Devlin. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy. We stick together. We win. Damn it! I'll see you soon. I'll see you. I messed it up. Okay, we're back. Hello.
You didn't mess it up.
I don't know. I guess it's acceptable. Nobody cares, really. Whatever. It's not like this is Meet the Press or something,
But you are growing. I see you got bigger things on your website and your webpage. And it looks bigger.
It's bigger.
Yeah, you look bigger.
I do?
Yeah, you look bigger.
I look bigger?
It looks like you got more stuff going on.
Well, looks could be very deceiving, I think. I don't know. So, yes. But just to get back to what we were talking about, we were talking about those idiots.
Yeah, let's go a little deeper.
About?
How about we go a little deeper?
Yeah.
If there's no right to abortion, then therefore men should have to have castration. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. That would be.
I mean,
that's great. Well, there is
not?
right. Right. There's a legislator. Hold on, who introduced a bill to force men to have vasectomies.
Yeah. Have a vasectomy and get circumcised and a vasectomy.
Right.
Time.
Right.
If they're so
yes.
intent on making women suffer like this, then make men stop doing what they're doing that makes women pregnant.
That would be great, but the thing is, it comes down to misogyny again, yet again. Right. Wait, hold on. Stupid ad is playing in my ear. Ugh. Go away.
They don't want to make men suffer at all in this situation.
Well, it's the way of the world. Men will never suffer. Are you kidding me? Women are always in the crosshairs, and that's why Amy Coney Barrett, it doesn't matter if you're a woman or not, you got to be a bigger misogynist than a male if you're a Republican woman. That's the way it is. You have to be. Right. You have to prop up the patriarchal power structure. You got to, sing its praises. That's who Amy Coney Barrett is. And she also, here's from The Guardian. Amy Coney Barrett lived in the home of a secretive Christian group's co-founder. Okay? Amy Coney Barrett lived in the home of the founders of something called the People of Praise. Ugh. They make me sick. You're not praised. Praise? Shut up. People of... I can't even talk. I'm so indignant. I hate her. People of praise. I wish you were people. You know what would make... It would
she got totally brainwashed.
Just like, shut up, Amy Coney, whatever. And the thing is, we know that she's got absolutely no honor because she allowed herself to be a pawn in this fascist coup. All of them. Yeah. Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, Kavanaugh, they're all dishonorable and unfit. They didn't have to participate, just sort of like Brad Raffensperger when Trump called and said, I need 11,000 votes. That's it. And Brad Raffensperger said no. So next time they're setting it up, so there'll be sycophants when the phone call comes. It'll already be in the works. But same thing with Amy Coney Barrett. She didn't have to go along. She didn't have to be part of the coup, but she's got no honor. And I guess she checked with her handmaids, because here's from The Guardian. This secretive Christian faith group that's been criticized for dominating the lives of its members and subjugating women. Public records examined by The Guardian show that Barrett, this was before she was confirmed, lived in a 9-bedroom South Bend, Indiana residence owned by Kevin Ranahan, a religious scholar and co-founder of this People of Praise. The revelation offers new clues into this bitch's broken brain, but I'm just paraphrasing. Public records and a record of a speeding ticket show that Barrett's husband apparently also lived in the home. And public records say that this is where individuals received their mail, including bills. So they all lived in this People of Praise commune. It is difficult, based on records alone, to determine when precisely these individuals lived there. Okay. Insider accounts by former members suggest that the group has well-developed courtship and marriage traditions, which are closely followed. Sounds like the Duggar family, those child predators. Yeah. One critic, former member Adrian Reimers, said in writing, about his personal experience that the people who are in the community do not date until the matter has been preyed upon. Oh my God. By an individual's head, quote unquote, or spiritual leader who helps make decisions. Which is never a woman, by the way. It's always a man. Reached by phone by The Guardian, Dorothy Ranagan, who is married to Kevin Ranagan, confirmed that Amy Barrett had previously lived in their home. Asked to describe the experience, she said, "Let's just say it was one of the better experiences of our life. She is just a gem and the best handmaid ever to be subservient." No, I do. That's
exactly what it is.
That's what they call themselves. Asked whether she could confirm that she and her husband took students in for many years, she said, "I prefer not to talk about it, but yes, many, many years." There are only a few details about Barrett's history with People of Praise. I just heard Ray. While Barrett has identified herself as a Catholic and belongs to a conservative parish in Indiana, People of Praise is an ecumenical group. Excuse me.
What's that word mean?
It means religious. It means ecumenical. It just means like a overarching umbrella of denominations. So yeah, that's what that means. People of Praise has accordingly erased numerous records from its website during the nomination, when she was being nominated to the Court of Appeals. Oh, okay. And that is another example of that she is a woman without honor, because that Court of Appeals seat that she was put on in anticipation of her jumping up to the Supreme Court when the time was right, was also one that was blocked by Mitch McConnell. There was a woman who had darker pigment that was nominated by Barack Obama, and she never got a hearing by these pricks. And they shoved this filthy fascist handmaid onto this bench, and she went right along with it. That's I hate them. They don't have to participate in the coup, but they don't have any honor. That's what we're here doing, guys. We're calling them out. We're pulling their covers. We're taking back patriotism because they never deserved it. Because what is patriotism? This is another thing that we on the show, that we talk about. Because what does patriotic mean? When you're not, you can't even take a shot. When your country is in a crisis, and your country is asking you to do one damn thing, to take a vaccine that over 4 billion human beings have already taken without incident, and that's too much for you. You know, that's not patriotic. You're not a patriot. Then that's what we have to get to that point where this is just understood. Just like it's understood that making abortion criminal doesn't reduce the numbers of abortion. That should be a common knowledge, but it's not. The American people are dumb. What?
They didn't say that that's even what they didn't say that that's even what they want.
What? You got to talk into the phone.
Yeah, sorry, I walked away from the phone to get my.
This is a show, man. You got to talk into the phone. People want to hear you. This is not just us talking, even though it feels that way. I know.
It does.
It kind of does, yeah.
But yeah, I never hear. Oh, let's have less abortions, because that would open up that conversation of, well, let's have men get women less pregnant. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
What the hell?
Well, that'll never
We're not
happen.
having that conversation.
Yeah. Well, that's why why is it that in all of the conversations on the mainstream media, you don't hear that abortion rates don't have anything to do with criminalizing abortion? Why isn't that the first thing out of people's mouths when they're discussing it? We all knowing that the abortion rates don't go down when abortion is criminalized. Yet the Republicans are pushing this anyway. This dangerous. Well, what it does, it's dangerous. It will murder women. That's what happens. It doesn't reduce the numbers of abortion. It only reduces the numbers of safe abortion. So, and this is what happened in before Roe v. Wade. Women were dying, and there were many instances and examples of women being found in hotel rooms dead, and people were sick of it. Enough is enough.
So,
but
you're also, you might just have to go, one step further if you don't want, such a rise in abortion. Like, sex in America, that's like our number one, product.
Yeah, well.
We sell sex like no one's business.
Well, we're also
and then we turn around and say, but you can't get an abortion.
Well,
and Viagra is free for men.
Exactly.
And have as much sex as you can because
for men.
It looks so great, and everybody. But abortions are illegal. I mean, give me a fucking break.
No, we're just...
And prostitution is not stopped. I mean...
It's ridiculous.
I don't know, man.
Well, prostitution...
There's a whole nother kettle of fish.
Prostitution is... It's ridiculous that prostitution is illegal. In England, the selling of sex is not illegal. It is the... if I'm not mistaken, it's the... running of a brothel? Am I wrong? It's that you can't be a madam. You can't be somebody that runs people or like a pimp or a madam, but you can sell sex. And that's this country, we're very behind here because of our entirely loud and way too much given way too much power right wingers. Because and conservatives, the conservatives in general, every country has them. Every country has to deal with them, but they don't give them. You don't give them power. You don't acquiesce to them. And here in the United States of serfs and lords, the Democrats, the people who believe in democracy, they've been giving these Republicans what they want. You hope it's like giving a brat something to just shut them up, and you're not shutting them up, you're only encouraging them. That's why whenever I hear like Joe Biden go on about bipartisanship is possible today, it's still possible in one breath, and then in the other breath talking about the danger of these voter suppression laws and everything that the Republicans are doing from sea to shining sea, thanks to the illegitimate Supreme Court, by the way, which is another thing.
Right.
Everything can be boiled down to a failure to communicate and a failure to message, in my opinion. Everything that the Democrats they are doing, they don't message correctly, and I believe this is because the power structure in the Democratic Party is still bought and paid for by corporate interests and the rich. So they're not willing to do what is needed to be done, and that is
go to a good advertising firm.
What say again, what
go to a good advertising firm, like
true.
The message sucks.
Well, they have to want to change the system, and then you fight with the courage of your convictions. Look at Bernie Sanders. He's fighting with the courage of his convictions because He's right, but you don't have to overthink it. And when you're on the right side of history and you're on the right side of decency and dignity and democracy, why would you want to play middle of the road with that shit? And because, in my opinion, it's because the Democrats are the ones in power. Let's say not all of them, but the ones who are there need to retire. That they're used to this old way of doing things, and they think that that's fine. It's working as it's always worked, and they're not clearly they're not willing to kick these filthy fascist bastards' ass. They're just not willing to take them to the woodshed and give them a case of the red ass. You know what I mean? It's just But like, even when, like, for example, in the debate, when they're like, what is socialist? Or are you a socialist? And all of this, the arguing about socialism, that is a case in point that says everything about the Democrats and how stupid they are. Why are you arguing about this? They constantly fall into the trap that the Republicans lay for them instead of disarming these little pricks of their cudgel. And so for the last 50 friggin' years, we've been hearing the Republicans go, socialism, 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 on one hand, right? Yeah. And on the other hand, talk about Social Security, like they're the champions of it. So the Democrats have always been cowards. They've run away from the term instead of just saying enough with this bullshit. Socialism. Socialism is that's what they say when they're trying to scare people into taking the steps that we need to save democracy from oligarchy. So that's all. And the Democrats, they have to define socialism because the American people are dumb. But do you ever hear them?
Point that they need to
exactly.
explain things and make their point.
Yes,
something.
They just need to say, when they say, oh, I don't never want to, because this comes from the Democrats. I never want to hear the word socialism again. This is that Spamberger, representative or senator. Was she a rep or a senator? I don't know. Whatever. Spamberger, one of these corporate Dems. She's somebody that's constantly like, I never want to talk about social. They were on after the midterms when the Democrats lost, or they lost seats, right? But even though they didn't lose completely. Spamberger was like, I don't want to hear socialism. Socialism is what's killing us. And woke, that's another thing. They're like, wokeness is killing us. Socialism, but instead of just disarm these fuckers of their bat. When somebody's like, are you a socialist? Say, no, what? But I think that we the people should share in the profits that our labor makes possible, and that's what we're doing when we regulate. That's what the Republicans are afraid of, that democracy and is going to really break out. So I don't know.
I think the way you put it earlier would be a better description of what socialism could be. Whereas they provide the infrastructure for our freedom.
Right. Well, that's it. Well, that's another way, I guess. It would probably be a good way to put it. It's the infrastructure of freedom. They're trying to scare you.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better. Who wouldn't vote for that?
That's true. Okay. Well, let's go with that one then. Because that's what it is. Well, because the reason they can say this, they could go and use socialism as a pejorative, is because the American people are dumb and they don't understand what they're talking about. And the Republicans have conflated it, purposefully with like Nazism and fascism and everything that they don't like is socialism.
Yeah.
You know? So
Right.
that's why the Democrats have to disarm them. It has to get to the point where when the Republicans say it, it's just nullified because everybody's just like, oh, that's them, you know? That's them with their tedious, oh, there they go again. It's like this fake news. Oh, yeah, everything's fake. Okay. Everything is unfair.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I have to go.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, you do. Great. Great.
I'm supposed to see a band with some friends. I'm going down to the Ocean
Where you going?
Mist to see a band.
You going to see a band?
The Ocean Mist.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. So, do you want to tell people to buy your nutcrackers, where they can buy them, or you know?
Well, I mean,
You got too many?
They're hard to make.
Oh,
It
that's
takes a
right.
long time.
Yes,
If you want one, I mean, I can do it, but it's not probably gonna be for Christmas, in time for Christmas.
Right. Okay.
But,
Okay. All right. Settle down. I'm not trying to make more work for you. I don't know.
No, but my email is pophaha1@gmail, and if anybody actually really does want one, I can do it, but it won't be in time for Christmas.
Right.
I was gonna go and say, hey, if you have a particular football team that you like, I could make it into a football player.
Hello. Well, yeah. Why don't you?
Yeah.
But you could also, like, there are so many little niche. That's the thing. You have to find your little niche. Am I saying it correctly? So the gay ones are good. The different teams. That's a good one. Make a New York Yankees. Nutcracker or football.
New England Patriots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People are into that stuff. They like that shit. So that'd be. I think that's a novelty for a real big fan, a football fan. I know I might have to talk to you about that next time, because my brother's a big Giants fan, like ridiculous. So.
Oh, I could make a New York Giants nutcracker easily.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, that would have been a good one. But next time.
Yeah.
Not in time for this Christmas.
Well, it's good to chat.
It was great.
Good all your fans, you're doing great.
Thank you.
I hope
Thank
you have
you.
a happy holidays to
All
you and
right.
to everyone out there, and little Junior there.
Yes, my little Junior.
And,
He's sleeping over there now. Where's Ray? Where's Ray? Okay.
Good.
All right, Poppy, thank you so much for hanging out, and I will talk to you very soon.
All right.
All right, I'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Poppy Champlin, ladies and gentlemen. The great Poppy Champlin, who is a real comedian. She was on Oprah. She had a logo special. Hello, look her up. Also on Comics Unleashed. She does the Olivia Cruises. Yeah. She's a good person. A normal person. A good person. All right. Let me see. Commander Bond says, people are misinformed about the isms. They think they're forms of government. Wait. I'm not reading this. About the isms. They think forms government. The economic basis. USA for okay, I can't read it. It's not making sense. I apologize. I'm just not reading it properly, Commander. But that's me. Yeah. So, let's see. Where is it? Where is this Amy Coney Barrett? Oh, no. What I wanted to talk about is the United States of PTSD. And like we were touching on with Poppy, this is what drives me... Well, it's not driving me insane. It actually breaks my heart. Did you see the video of the kids running for their lives? Yeah, so for those on the podcast, kids are locked down. This is the video from our latest school shooting here in this armed madhouse. And the kids' teacher... hiding, didn't know if they were safe to open the door because there was someone outside and knocking on the door. They thought it was the shooter tricking them because he said bro. He said the word bro. Come out, bro. And the kids got suspicious. They're like, oh, no, red flag. So, but watching these kids, and these are not the first, this is not the first, and it won't be the last video we've seen that gives us a window into the school shooting. God help us. I'm of the opinion that we should show the carnage. Show the carnage. It's not for exploitation purposes, but we should, see what we've done. See the consequences of our indifference, our inaction, our greed. But I always wonder, what does this do for the future of the country? How are we going to have a country? How are we going to have a good country, much less a great country, or any country, when we have an entire generation suffering from PTSD, even worse than my generation is suffering from PTSD? We're in the aftermath of Reaganomics. That's PTSD enough. Then throw some live shooter drills on top of a pandemic, on top of anything that young people, all of the obstacles and burdens that we're saddling young people with, so a few people can get very, very rich, sending kids out into the world as indentured servants to banks. But oh no, they have a welfare mentality, according to some of these dumbasses that we share this country with, who are just stupid. I'm sorry. We don't have time to mince words about it. They're ill-informed, they're malinformed. And they're voting for each other, right? They're sending each other, these ill-informed, malinformed morons, they're sending them into the halls of Congress. So, a new report examining nearly 28 million social media posts tied to 114 schools finds higher rates of depression and stress following active shooter drills. This is from the NBC News website, Tyler Kincaid. A few things go through Tim Treadwell's mind when he's in the middle of an active shooter drill, leading his physical education class into the locker room at John Winthrop Middle School in Deep River, Connecticut. He thinks about which student has a special education plan, whether any of them do not handle trauma well, or if there's one he'd have to carry if they had to run. He thinks of his own children. Even when Treadwell knows it's only drill, he still feels the jolt of apprehension when the principal comes by to shake his door to ensure it's locked. It's been this way since the drills began, shortly after the elementary school massacre in Newton, Connecticut in 2012. Now imagine when we heard the stories of the horrors in Newton. Could you imagine? But the precious American eyes couldn't see what their greed has sown. And I think about the children, 4-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and that wasn't enough. Oof. Where are we beyond hope? It's kind of ended the gun control debate, Treadwell said. We saw kindergartners get killed. And what changed? It's clearly going to keep happening. So the question became, what do we do? It's bizarre, he added. It's the nature of where we're at as a society. Active shooter drills became one of the most common school safety measures implemented nationwide in recent years. We should all be embarrassed about that. Despite widespread fears, that the procedures heighten anxiety, and evidence that school shooters like the one in Parkland, Florida, use the knowledge of these drills to their advantage. Teachers' unions in February called for schools not to conduct active shooter drills. Now, new research adds to those concerns. In a new report released, well, says released Thursday, but this was a year ago. In a new report found active shooter drills in schools correlated with a 42% increase in anxiety and stress and a 39% increase in depression among those in the school community, including students, teachers, and parents. Hell, I'm friggin' depressed looking at it, looking at the pictures of kids under desks. It's like the duck and cover drill. But this is worse because that, even though that was complete and utter bullshit, and it served to do nothing but give you a false sense of security, because if a nuclear bomb was gonna drop on your community, you're dead, even if you're hiding under a desk. But that's bad enough. I remember I was in the last generation that did the duck and cover drills. I was in kindergarten, and I remember them bringing us into the hall, putting your head against the wall, and with your hands over your head like this, and had to crouch. And I remember I have this memory of like looking left and right to the friends and other kids. But I also remember being scared. Are we gonna blow up? What's going on? What's this Russia? It's gonna blow us up? But when I see the live shooter drills, it's disgusting. There was also I when I was looking for articles about this, I came across a live shooter drill. Where is it? Where actors dressed up. They really went to town. Fake blood and bank school stage live shooter drills. Here. Look at this shit. Look at that. Is that normal? Is JD still in the chat? Is this normal, JD? There are any people from other countries? Look at this. Look at this kid. They're putting fake bullet holes in his head. Because it's got to look real. Oh, look, they're making the blood. Well, they're not making a school project horror movie. It's real life horror that we live every single day as Americans. Where we have to be embarrassed for living in this odd madhouse where the likes of Margie Two Toes get to open their mouths and the bats fly out of the belfry like a stench. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Student actors portraying shooting victims lie on the floor. Blood right in the chest. Oh, look. Isn't this the sickest effing thing you've ever seen besides the Duggar family? Am I mean, is this nuts? Yeah. I could see, if I was a teenager, that would be a fun day. I would be like, I want to play. But this is so abhorrent. We should be embarrassed. Just like we should be embarrassed that we crossed 800,000 dead. And we should be embarrassed that Mitch McConnell is in the midst of a fascist coup. And the whole of the Republican Party are going along with it. And what are we going to do about it? Throwing Band-Aids on bleeding arteries ain't gonna fix it. We need real change. Right? Not that we can believe in, but that fixes democracy. And we know how to do it. Guys, my name is Tara Devlin. Thanks for hanging out. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Thank you, Poppy Champlin, for hanging out and for great conversation. And thank you all for your super chats and your support. We will win. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. My name is Tara Devlin. We stick together. We win. I'll see you soon. Hey, what happened there? It just went off. All right, guys. Thank you, Mark. Become a patron. Give what you can. And support independent media. Thank you, Mark. I couldn't have said it better myself. And once again, thank you, Jim. I don't know what I'd do without you, man. Oh, there's the last cue. How'd that happen? All right. Thank you, JD. And thank you, Matt. And thank you, Errol. And thank you, Mark. And it's almost cat time, Jim says. That's right. Any cats around? Ray Ray. Come here, Ray. I have the hiccups. Hold on. I'll go get Ray so he can say goodnight. Oh, he's running away. Here he comes, Mr. America. Here he is. Say hello to the people. That's all you get. He's a man of few words. All right. He's a good boy. Oh. All right, guys. Listen up, my friends. Listen up. I gotta go because I have to get the show ready for Progressive Voices and I have to go get unconscious. Thanks again, and remember, become a patron at patreon.com, and I'll see you very soon.